morning and welcome to Atn Saturday on Atlantic Television Network. Atn Saturday is a syndicated live program of the network featuring conversations and in-depth analysis on trending political news, events and stories with stakeholders. Through these conversations, Atn uses political talks about specific issues, party system and actor to explore hope and engender positive impact to the society. Today on Atn Saturday, we look at these stories. First, Rivers State. Court dismisses APP suit against Assembly. And then on to Edo Guba. Stakeholders call for credible poll. And on Delta State, community sacks Fulani herdsmen. And then on to Borno State, flood victims protest lack of food, relief items. And on National Assembly, Senate moves to create body for local government elections. On PDP, 4 governors back Damagum, and on politics, Obasanjo says some Nigerian leaders should be in jail. On 2027, my intention is to rescue Nigeria, Kwakwazo has to say. We'll go on a short break. When I come back, we'll delve right into the show. Do not go away.
From the lands across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Joining me on Atn Saturday this morning is Ugochukwu Ifeanyichukwu. Good morning, Ugochukwu, and welcome to Atn Saturday.
Aisha, good morning. It's good to sit beside you on a Saturday. Happy weekend, and I don't know how the weekend is going to be. And today is that yesterday. Today is that D-Day. Today is the long-awaited the Edo people decides. Edo files out, Edo goes to the pool, and I think we'll be happy to be getting the blow-to-blow update of what's going on. Wish them a seamless outing, and that INEC should be very fair, direct and precise, and there will be no delays in what do you call it, in logistics and other things that goes on with the process of conducting a seamless gubernatorial election in Edo State. All
right, we'll still come to Edo State, but first let's go to Rivers State. Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has delivered a judgment that brings finality to the case filed by the Action People's Party against Rivers State House of Assembly, the Independent National Electoral Commission, and the People's Democratic. To this story, Ifeanyichukwu. Do you think it will actually bring all the brouhaha to rest in Rivers State?
It has already buried the political torso, especially as it concerns the soul of Rivers State House of Assembly. I never knew there is already this litigation by APP, and if one may ask, what is in it for APP? Why is APP becoming an interested party, and who wants to cry more than the bereaved? Because hitherto to this particular judgment, I never knew APP. We had that of Boot Party. We know that of the other faction. A lot of questions by friends and colleagues, you know, why the insinuation rages about the interests of the governor in APP. So if they had filed a case, so their marriage allegedly did not start today. What we are seeing is the consummation when it comes to what is going to play out in Rivers State local government elections. And as we have seen, the PDP is not going to be in the ballot, but the governor and the House of Assembly members, the Okojumbo-led faction of the assembly members are of PDP. So, and again, the Justice Peter Lefu, you know, reminded those that went to court that this, what they are coming to ask for has been overtaken by events. If I may recall, the judgment of Omotosho on the 22nd of January have not been vacated. It has not been appealed.
It can't be. The question is, when you bring up the judgment of Justice Omotosho, because ordinarily what APP would have done would have been to vacate that judgment, to appeal that judgment, to seek for its vacation.
Yes.
However, in the grand scheme of things, the window for vacating that judgment or for appealing it has elapsed.
Of course.
So the judgment cannot be vacated. That is why they had to institute a new suit.
Right. But instituting a new suit, they have. I wondered why Justice Lefu did not find them, at least to put the final nail on the coffin, because when he just throws it out like this without finding them for wasting their legal time, I think he's very charitable to them, because they will not tell us that APP, as a political party in Nigeria, they don't have a legal advisor, even state or national, or those they are fraternizing with don't have legal advisors. So that is a mockery of application to the court. That's a wasting of judicial time. That's also a wastage of resources, though it might not be a waste for them, because we know that as things are in Rivers State, APP could have not on their own approached the court, the Rivers State House Assembly as it stands today. And again, the appeal court, having said that the lower courts have no jurisdiction in hearing the matter ab initio, would have told an average law student, I mean a law student, I'm not saying that somebody that have been called to bar, would have known that this case is in nullity already. Either you start it from afresh. I could recall when Ojos Okalo got sentenced, and when he got on appeal, and they said that he should go back, that there was an infraction, and the infraction was not that the case was not judiciously had, or fair hearing was not given to Ojos Okalo, but the problem was that the judge that had the case was transferred, and another judge now took charge of it, you know, making it there was a judicial collapse, a judicial process collapse, that they say that hence another judge has taken over. He should have, you know, reviewed the case and called on the witnesses, and you know that case took a long time. So now that Justice Omotosho gave a landmark judgment, and the Okojumbo faction appealed that particular, appealed another judgment by Peter Lefu, and appeal court now gave a resounding judgment that would settle the whole thing and said the court where you went, a state high court, has no jurisdiction to hear a case concerning a state House of Assembly. The first leg of your question, I don't think this will bring to an end the litigations or the impasse, you know, in Rivers State political ecosystem, because judgments in Nigeria, the governor is saddled with immunity, and in Nigeria they choose which judgment to obey, even when the laws has clearly stated what it is. It's just few weeks ago we came out from the litigation and the impasse in Abia State House of Assembly, after someone went to appeal court, and the appeal court being the final arbiter of litigations concerning State House of Assemblies and the Federal House of Representatives and Senate, as the case may be, gave a judgment, ordered INEC to retrieve on the autonomy, financial autonomy of local governments now, that the federal government have taken it upon herself to, you know, make sure that it sees the light of the day, because the federal government is saddled with the responsibility of disbursing funds, and they can now withhold it. That is why you see some of the state governors now running helter-skelter. But if not, have you seen how many times that financial autonomy has gone through the Supreme Court and it was not obeyed? So if the case of Rivers State, we are still awaiting the judgment of the Supreme Court as it concerns this case, the governor can choose the one he's going to obey, unless if the federal government uses another means of chastising.
When you say with respect to Rivers State issue between the executive and the legislature, when you say the governor can choose the House of Assembly to work with.
No, I'm not saying the House of Assembly to work with.
So what exactly is the governor going to choose to obey? No,
they choose to obey even if they are reinstated. Even if the Supreme Court now says that the authentic House of Assembly Speaker, which is Martin Samehule, should return to his office, and the governor should now send correspondence to him, because as we know, given what appeal court has done and the judgment of Justice Omotosho, Martin Samehule remains the authentic Speaker of Rivers State House Assembly.
When you say Supreme Court tells Honorable Martin Samehule, led House of Assembly, to return.
No, by affirming the judgment.
There is a judgment already
by the Supreme Court. Yes, no, that's what I'm saying now.
Hold on, there is a judgment already authenticating them. And when the appeal court, in its ruling, the appeal court said that with regards to the speakership of Right Honorable Martin Samehule, it's not in contention. No. Authenticated Okojumbo was made a nonsense of by the appeal court. So when you say returning them, they are already existing. Probably
we are saying
no, because it gives a wrong impression, like they are waiting for the appeal court to return them.
The Supreme Court
you could say that the Supreme Court. You could say the Supreme Court is not returning them. There is an appeal of the judgment of the appeal court to the Supreme Court. So everybody is awaiting the judgment of the Supreme Court. And do not forget, the judgment, the appeal was based on jurisdiction.
Of the lower court that had it.
It's based on jurisdiction, and that's simple. The issue of Martin Samihule, the appeal court has said it's not in contention. Probably the Supreme Court will shed more light, in favor or against Martin Samihule. But as it stands, pending when the Supreme Court gives judgment, Martin Samihule
is the authentic Speaker of Rivers State Assembly. Because
the appeal court has also said that the judgment that authenticated Okojombo, the court in the first place that gave the judgment does not have the jurisdiction to give the judgment. So as it stands, that's why I asked you, would the governor keep recognizing Okojombo in face of all these judgments in favor of Martin Samihule?
Laurentia, you know why I'm using a layman's language to interpret this judgment. We are here, we are sentimental. And you know that this particular issue...
sentimental.
This particular issue...
No, hold on. Don't say we. Say I am sentimental. I beg to be removed from that statement.
A larger chunk of the Nigerian society, Nigerian citizens, are very sentimental when it comes to issue that has to do with the law and the court of public opinion.
All right.
So that is where I'm coming from. Now, you see why I am carefully choosing my words. Is because of who majority of Nigerians are. Now, the Nigerians don't look at the letters or the handwritings of the law. They go with sentiment. As it stands now, you and I know that the Rivers citizens are divided according to those being sentimental and the few who are only looking at the letters of the law and what the laws are saying. That is why I'm telling you that majority of them, it will dawn on them when the Supreme Court makes the pronouncement. Because arbiter, once they lay their voices on this particular adjudication of the appeal court, that will be the final nail. But what I'm saying about the governor choosing the people he wants to work with is this. In as much as it's against the letters of the law. But here we are in Nigeria. We are not foreigners. Look at what happened in Edo State. The reinstatement of Shaibu. Obaseki went ahead to, disobey the court order, because if you are sitting and there is no correspondence from the three arms of government that should work in harmony, it is a disobedience to the court order. And has the Supreme Court a way of chastising or penalizing those who don't adhere to their rulings? It's what I don't know. That's what I'm saying, that our judicial led-hand procedures need to be tinkered. We need to have a way of punishing impunity. And not only the court now will call you and said, we are calling you for, how do they say it? That for court, the disobedience of the court ruling.
Contempt.
Contempt of court. That's the only thing. Even after the contempt, I think it's only fine. Or maybe a pronouncement. But as a governor who is sitting with immunity, even if they pronounce that there is a contempt of court as perpetuated by a sitting governor, how will he be punished? How will he be brought to book? That's a $1 million question. That's my fear. That at the end of the day, on him and another impeachment notice and impeaching the governor, and the federal government will now use the federal apparatus and make sure that the government house is barricaded.
Now, when
that is the only way you can now see Nigerian politicians listening to this.
That, don't you think that is an extreme move? Don't you think that is an extreme move? Because does it stop the next governor from not also obeying or not obeying the court, even in other states? That's the question. So calling for the impeachment of the governor, I think probably, don't you think it's extreme at this point?
It's not extreme if he goes on to disobey the court orders.
Hold on. If the Supreme Court judgment comes out, probably, and Martin Samehule from probably the Supreme Court judgment is in favor of Martin Samehule, then the governor will have no choice but to work with them. Right. So now saying that, calling for the impeachment of the governor, I think is extreme at this point, and should be left at the discretion of the Rivers State House of Assembly as it is.
Laurentia, my fears are what I've been saying. What I've said is that we have seen governors behave like demigods, and they choose, I repeat, they choose the court orders they obey. Even in the federal level, are not left out.
Right.
They are not left out. So until extreme measures are taken, and what are the measures? What are the last two in the hands of a House of Assembly, or the Speaker of the House of Assembly, or an Assembly member? Is for the person to now do the needful.
There is a difference between the state houses of assembly, during the impeachment process. However, when you are also forgetting that when the court gives a judgment or an order, there is also an agency or a body of the government saddled with the responsibility of enforcing those orders. So when you're calling on let there be an impeachment, have you also talked about the enforcement of these orders? That's why I say probably it is best all not just with Rivers State but across the states. Let there be a wake-up call for enforcement of these court orders. The judiciary, probably it's time for the judiciary to start speaking out on how much their orders and their judgments have been ridiculed, and probably protest the ridiculing of their judgments. Even from the federal, I mean, severally, even parastatal, severally EFCC, the court will give order for bail, and EFCC will go against it, DSS will go against it. It's not just with the politicians. You're also looking at government institutions as well. And these are the institutions that should actually enforce the orders of the court. The same institutions are the ones breaking it. So what would you expect politicians to do? But then moving forward.
Let me have a final lap to it, please.
Very quickly.
What I'm saying is that even when this enforcement body you're talking about, Laurentia, enforces it, and the assembly is in place, what about the governor who flagrantly refuses to send correspondence? And that's where I'm saying that the court should have a way of reprimanding such an erring state executive as the case may be.
All right. Few hours into the Edo State governorship election, the three major political parties, Labour Party, People's Democratic Party, and All Progressive Congress, the Christian Association of Nigeria, and former President Goodluck Jonathan have tasked the Independent National Electoral Commission and security agencies on credible balloting. The call came as fears of violence marring the election heightened yesterday, with suspected thugs clashing as INEC distributed sensitive election materials. Also protesting youths and women besieged the palace of the Okumabe of Owano Kingdom in the Tsako local government area of Edo State, demanding the immediate release of PDP leaders arrested across council areas by the police. Yaga Africa expressed fears that there could be Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Since in 8 local government areas, it said could be characterized by high stakes, potential violence and logistical challenges. The group identified the local government areas at Ikpoba, Oka, Oredo, Ego, Ovia Southwest, Ovia South Northeast, Atn Southeast, everything going on in Edo group. But do not forget that an interesting story broke yesterday as well, right, in relation to the Edo State election today, that the APC candidate of Eblo has been disqualified by the court, and yes, much later, you know, it was all over the tabloids that that was fake news. Now the question will be, who are the people masterminding this? What could be the reason for this? And do not forget that a Guba candidate of another political party even had to step down in face of the do or die statement by Obaseki. But then, Ifani, what do you make of this?
Loud statement during the 2023 presidential elections, and also APC as a party at the center has not really helped in projecting their candidate, in making the candidate have a smooth ride, you know, by the kind of policies they turn out, and the hunger and the supersonic have turned above. Somebody that is even in primary school today knows what is happening in Nigeria, not to talk about somebody who is 18 years and above. So be that as it may, the police reading the Riot Act is no surprise, because we had last week or early this week when the Inspector General of Police, when the Chief of Army Staff in the person of Christopher Musa read the Riot Act and said their commitment about the real role in Edo State. And again, police deploying about 35,000 personnel in Edo. Citizens of Edo State. This is uncharitable and unfair on the part of the IGP, Ebetokun. For him to be under his watch, the first election to be conducted under the supervision of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Ebetokun, and this kind of thing is happening. I mean, it's uncharitable and it's unheard of. These are not political prisoners. Since over a month, those people were arrested. If they have been taken to court, they would have had their day, or even if the litigation is going on, they will have their bail conditions perfected and enjoying their party in canvassing for vote. Again, when you look at another leg to it, women are protesting, people are protesting, because if truth may be told, this election is about power play. The PDP has been gagged.
The question would be, are these protests organic? That would be the question. Is that an organic protest? Hold on.
Okay.
Why is the protest breaking out on the eve of the election in certain areas? If these protests were to be organic, it should have gained momentum by now. It's a protest that would have started a long time ago. You understand? It is you would have heard it everywhere that the youths are angry, they only motivated protests.
This is electioneering period. So anything that happens now, there is no protest. They refused, and they refused before the glaring of the so-called eminent Nigerians to sign the peace pact. That's enough protest, Laurentia. That's a protest that should have awakened the consciousness of Nigerians. But you
said the peace pact is ceremonial.
Oh, you feel like that?
Hold on. If the peace pact, according to you,
and that's
is
what
ceremonial,
it is.
You said that's what it is, which means it holds no water. It has no bearing.
But it would have created an avenue.
Hold on. It has no influence in the grand scheme of things.
Any particular event, especially event organized by such eminent Nigerians, would gather among what LBS Ekwesiri we call the office of the citizens. It will have that effect, because it is now that Nigeria is governed based on the sentiment and opinion of the public court opinion. Because the government is not listening,
What is the court of public opinion in this case?
Court of public opinion is that Obaseki, remember that even when they came, he has started saying that he will not sign unless he gave his he brought out his template that will enable PDP to sign
the conditions.
The conditions. Mm-hmm. And then it started like a little wind started blowing. Then when they came, actually he repeated it, and also those eminent Nigerians that came for that peace part to douse tension. That peace part is nothing but to douse tension. But another thing that even caught my attention was that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not even sign the peace part during before the presidential election, and they didn't make such wave. And even those eminent Nigerians, those I call the eminent Nigerians, the calibers and the characters of people like Bishop Hassan Kuka and the former president of Nigeria, head of state of Nigeria at the time, Abubakar. At least I've sat in the same fora with Abubakar on 2 occasions in southern Kaduna. When I told you I was doing a primary research about the skirmishes in southern Kaduna, he came to the pop bomb of Kagoma Palace. He stays in Plateau State. He stays in Jos. He drove on 2 Sundays to come there for Pit Park. One of the questions, what you always hear me say, as a kind of a wise saying, that when people are making trouble, when somebody is in your house, making trouble with you, and somebody comes in, whom will the person ask to walk away for peace to reign? It was in that party that I had it. It was one of the retired chief army officers asked General Adesami Abubakar a penitent question in one of those sittings, that, sir, with all due respect, if someone is in my house fighting me, and you come in as somebody who is a good neighbor and you want to quell the crisis, will you ask me as the owner of the house to leave, or you ask the person who is an intruder to leave? He couldn't answer that question. So that was where I started questioning some of the integrity that they possess, and accumulating into what I've seen in Edo State.
Edo State is an entirely different thing.
No, there's something I'm coming. Hold on. Let me finish my thought.
That question that was asked by someone in southern Kaduna in the fora you were seated does not in any way apply to the Edo State situation. I
know. That is why I asked you to allow me to finish. Where I'm drawing that particular, he's been unable to answer to that direct question in a way that we are all looking at him to answer, to end that crisis between the herders and farmers in southern Kaduna, is what I'm drawing. The analogy I'm drawing is not about the wise saying, or but his answer or his inaptitude. So
you're questioning his integrity.
God bless
to
you.
Be able to deliver on this peace pact and probably
God bless you. To bring reconciliation, given that when Bola Ahmed Tinubu refused to sign that same peace pact before the 2023 general elections.
Is the peace pact constitutional?
Hey, let me finish now. I'm drawing on.
Is it cast in stone?
No, these are some of the Nigerians who take their integrity and what they represent to the high heavens. If something is happening between Labour and they say, hey, we call on eminent Nigerians, we call on past leaders to talk to the government, to hearken to the voice of reason. These are the kind of characters you call. I want you to get a picture of what I'm trying to say, that drawing from what happened where I was
said that Obaseki
they protested
the detention of the PDP members by not signing the peace pact. That was a very loud protest.
Yes, and it is a very loud for me, and should have been taken up by those eminent Nigerians. Right. That is where I'm coming, Laurentia. And if you wrap your mind around it, I've drawn some premises, to come at my conclusion.
Now, it's your issue because you have made a very passionate case for the PDP in Edo State, which you, in fact, all the while we've been discussing Edo Guba, you've always had sympathy for Edo State PDP.
Yes.
Very clearly, you know. Now, but you have also failed to also, you know, extrapolate on a particular perspective, and that is the fact that most PDP bigwigs have defected to APC, not Labour Party, not APP, not Accord, but APC. Now, APC right now is enjoying the blessings. That's on one hand. Obaseki, in knowing the election was coming up, made a lot of mistakes politically that one would say is very detrimental to the overall interest of PDP, knowing that he has an anointed that he wanted to present to the people. First of all, from his fallout with Shuaibu, and not listening to different forms of appeals to like reconcile. While PDP's house was being balkanized, APC found a way to reconcile their differences, merging the two Kuba candidates. One became the flag bearer and the other one became the running mate, and peace was made.
Like it happened in Lagos State.
While PDP was busy having issues, APC were mending fences and moving in. And now, do you now see with all the exodus of not just let's say
party followers,
not just party followers, the exodus of deep pockets.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Not ordinary members of the political party been involved. And you also failed to make mention that in as much as I try to be sympathetic to PDP in the way they are being treated when it comes to what the federal input should be, being neutral in this case, especially with INEC and the police.
Are you saying that INEC is not neutral?
No, we have just seen how the distribution of sensitive materials turned chaotic.
No, hold on.
Turned chaotic.
Then said, let me reread that. Let me reread that. No, you misinterpreted it. Let me reread what happened. They said the call came as during the election heightened yesterday, with suspected thugs clashing as INEC distributed sensitive election materials. It did not say that the thugs were clashing with INEC.
No, it wasn't with INEC, but the distribution, if there should be a clash, because I don't know if you have paid a visit to the Benin City. I'm not talking about the hinterlands. That is where you see all those skirmishes, Laurentia. So you can't remove those things because each politician wants to outsmart the other. They want their own area of their catchment area to receive the material first. They will now use that same skirmishes to delay their opponent's place getting a fair advantage. That is where I'm coming from. But if you had also listened to my conversations surrounding Obaseki and the election, I've always told you on Monday, I said it when I appeared on the open conversation, that Obaseki has shot himself on the foot. It is not what we are discussing now, because this is Edo decides today. Anything that we are talking about now is that Obaseki is already late to dump him in the middle of the sea. Obaseki has witnessed a mass exodus of even his cabinet members. Even this one, we are not even hearing that his cabinet members has left him. So Obaseki is not new to fighting with political godfathers and gladiators. The only thing that stood for Obaseki was when Ebola Ben Tinubu waded into Edo politics 4 years ago. The Edo people rose up and said Edo is not Lagos, and they decided and stood their ground. So in what is happening in Edo State of today, Obaseki has lost his followership, he has lost his political friends. But be that as it may, in an election such as this, you don't remove alignment and realignment. And the politicians, and they have, remember that when you pick out these grassroots mobilizers, you are invariably disenfranchising PDP Despite the movement of these political bigwigs,
all right,
still APC is not satisfied.
All right, if I
that's it, pushing people to
basing your argument on the fact that the PDP cried out that the wreck is related to the FCT minister. Now, and somehow you also failed to mention that the FCT minister was also instrumental to the emergence of Obaseki, and he turned against the FCT minister, just like he turned against Shaibu, who fought Oshomole, his political godfather, to bring him into power.
Yes.
These are, I mean, they are precedents that you cannot sweep under the carpet.
Of course.
So it's more like probably Obaseki's political actions. He's now reaping the consequences of the actions he took in the past. So the FCT minister came out to say that he told him point blank he will not support him. And after he told him that he will not support him, Obaseki suddenly remembered that the wreck is related to the FCT minister. Why didn't he cry out all the while? He has been a wreck for 1 year in Edo State, and nobody talked about it, nobody mentioned it, probably because he was hoping that a superior argument.
Give my reasons for disagreeing with the police not to go ahead with those vigilante groups. But let me start from here. When you say that the wreck it does not make INEC bias, even if Obaseki has taken Igudalo to Wike. Wike is a member of PDP and he's a vocal person. He's a strong voice in PDP. So there is nothing, Obaseki never committed a sin going to show
for the visitation.
God bless
probably
you.
Would have made more sense.
He should have started over time. Especially immediately he saw the handwritings of the wall. He waited until the 11th hour, which is a minus on his part. They should have, but if it's in a sana climb, if you want to just upon eyebrow begin to raise that you are an interested party, the best thing for you to do is for you to show that your neutrality and that you have no iota of any intention of favoritism to any particular party, is for you to have your integrity intact.
Like I asked.
Let me
why
finish.
didn't
No, even now.
No, hold on.
Even
I am not
now,
talking about the wreck himself. I am talking about the timing.
I've said about the
timing. I have said. Why didn't Obaseki start crying out?
Which is a minus on his part.
All this while. Why did he wait for a visit?
If now that there is a clear indictment, not on the person, not on the person, the highly politically exposed persons that has associated with it, just like you have a case, and the judge handling your case is being filmed in a party organized by somebody who is an interested party in the case. What will you do? You petition the NJC complaining about your this
why would you start?
If I redeploy this person, will the heavens fall?
The question would be, why would you go crying after you have paid according to you?
But this is politics.
No, hold on.
This is politics.
And politics is also playing out.
This is politics.
But that's what is playing out.
And this is the character of politicians. And when you come to the vigilante group, let me tell you, let me use that to wrap up. You see, what I said on Wednesday, I repeat now. I say that why will the local vigilantes, when it comes to election, they are now removed. But these are the same people who voter bias. The local politicians that we go, it's not those big politicians that we see going to the crowd to buy money.
Isn't this double speak from you?
No, those local people will provide them with intelligence. So why don't you think that if the Nigerian police had, carried along this Edo State Security Service now, and they are to report to them, even if they are going around with a locally made gun, they will now deal with firearms. but report to us, show us the places that those crimes may be perpetuated.
With everything you have said, I have still asked you one question. Who do the ESSM report to? You said the state government.
They report to the state government. Who is
the head of the state government? Obaseki. That simply answers the question.
So in this case, when APC is the federal party,
it is okay.
APC is now a party that is in the center, and those police and military deployment are also coming from the federal. So are you accusing the federal also?
Hold on, Ugochukwu. In all the elections we've had in Nigeria, across the states and all of that, most states have local vigilantes.
Yes, they do.
I have not heard.
But they use them. At least I've also monitored the elections in other states.
Hold on. Probably. These are back and forth, and when you look at the stance and
but politicians are their counter-accusations, so whom will you blame?
When you look at the stance and the violence-embedded threats Obaseki has been making in the face of these elections, you cannot blame the IGP for saying...
Obaseki is reacting to the politics.
You cannot blame the IGP for saying that ESSN cannot be used.
Loresha, I told you that Obaseki is reacting to the
from today, only on ATN.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now on to Delta State. For incessant destruction of farm crops by herders in their area, Ogbe Ogume communities in Ndokwa West local government area have instructed Fulani herdsmen grazing in their communities to vacate their land with immediate effect. The position was aimed at putting an end to their unlawful activities. The Onotu coup of Thanked the communities for their peaceful disposition in handling the matter. Responding, the representatives of the Fulani headsmen in the meeting, Jafaru Muhammad, assured the communities that he would relay their message to the owners of the cows. What do you have to say?
You see, Laurentia, this is what is really causing the food insecurity in Nigeria.
Part of it.
This farmers headers clash. The other leg is that we have not prioritized mechanized agriculture.
Right.
You know, so but in this case, for what we have now, the cave age method of farming land, they erect a structure and they pay the monuments and the entitlements to the owner of the land. And if ranching is done, even this this cow dung is a huge money that people use in fertilizing the other. But and in another leg of it, want to make use of this piece of land, purchase it and not by fire. And anything that the community should also go further and say that any herdsman that is caught with AK-47 or any firearm should be reported to the needed authorities. You see, this is what led to the death of L.S. Bade. Have you forgotten? You recall the death of L.S. Bade was caused by this kind of shenanigans. The daughter of one of the Pan-Yoruba elders, is it Adefarati? I think Adefarati. The daughter was gruesomely murdered because of all these people living in the bushes. So let them not allow it to fester in Delta State. That's the only advice I have, because if they allow it to become a norm, this is a far cry from what you're going to hear going forward, Laurentia.
All right. There is no resolution in sight to the crisis rocking as calls to replace its acting national chairman, Umar Damagum, has deepened divisions within the PDP Governors Forum. Senior member of the PDP National Working Committee, speaking anonymously to newsmen, revealed that in addition to the backing of the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, Damagum has the support of at least 4 governors from the party. He identified the 4 governors as Sheyi Makinde of Oyo State, Amadu Finitri of Adamawa State, Caleb Mufwang of Plateau State, and Abu Kefas of Taraba State. According to the source, while the Enugu and Zamfara state governors, Pitamba and Dauda Lawal respectively, are neutral, the remaining 7 PDP governors are pushing to oust Damagum. The anti-Damagum governors are led by Bauchi State Governor Bala Muhammad, who is also the chairman of the PDP's Governors Forum. With him are Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke, Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki, Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri, Rivers State Governor Similaye Fubara, Delta State Governor Sheriff Oboriwori, and Akwa Ibom State Governor Omo Eno.
You know, I have told those who care to listen to me that immediately the governor of Bauchi State decided to make himself an enigma to Nyesom Wike, that Nyesom Wike coming out to make a boost that he has the capacity to put fire, and the people think he was speaking metaphorically, because Nyesom Wike will not go and set physical fire on those states, especially Bauchi State, but he shows you that he has the capacity to cause division or disloyalty among members that are hitherto, you know, in the ruling party, maybe be it the executive, be it the party structure in the said states. And you have seen it within 1 week. It's coming to fruition, because you could recall that last week, this PDP Governor Forum suddenly found their voices, you know, making visits and turning out communique here and there. But today, what is happening? Barely 2 weeks to what Nyesom Wike has said, we could see it written all over. So what will you call this one? Is it a G7? Is it a G5? Or the minister now being a minister? I don't know how they will tag this emergence of Fintiri, Sheikh Makinde. And you know that Sheikh Makinde and Bala Mohammed had been, you know, in loggerheads, show of force and power to outmuzzle each other in who takes control of the PDP Governors Forum. As Sheikh Makinde is claiming to be the mega financier and positioning himself to take over from his master, Nyesom Wike, to be a strong voice, you know, representing the PDP governors. Bala Mohammed has not backed down, you know, showing that he has been a minister and also a second-term governor who happens to now be the chairman of the GPDP's forum, you know, has been showing capacity and speaking, you know, fire and brimstone as how the 2027 elections will be, trying to put Bola Tinubu under pressure to perform. So be that as it may, you see that Nyesom Wike has the capacity for him to stand by Damagu. And they recall that a few days ago when Sheikh Makinde came back from Sweden and Finland, he spoke why he was not at the grand finale of PDP rally in Edo State during the commissioning of the upgrade of the Akintola Airport in Oyo State. He said that he was going to support Damagu according to the laid-down rules of the PDP, process of electing a substantive chairman, while Bala Mohammed on the other leg was saying that in order to pull Damagu down, made a communique after their meeting that Damagu should resign and go back to his former position, while the PDP substantive chairman should go to the North Central. And once it happens that way, you know that Damagu, who is from another not west or not south zone, will automatically be disqualified from contesting that particular position. But today, you see that Nyesom Wike's camp has gotten a boost, and Damagu can now begin to declare a mini party, so to say, because for a Sheikh Makinde who has taken it upon himself to be, since the giving, since Nyesom Wike has stepped out from the governorship seat, has become the major financier of a PDP national, so to say, has thrown his weight behind Damagu. Invariably, what they are saying is that when that news broke, I called some of my friends, I said, for a Makinde to have made such statement that he's supporting a Damagu, he's looking for a realignment with Wike. Remember that we saw a crack, you know, when he was looking for power, you know, to be the dominant force in the PDP Governor Forum. He was a kind of severing relationship with Wike. But when he knew that it was not going to pay off, he was not going to pay off. He was going to even cut his own leg, not shooting himself on the foot, because shooting and cutting are not the same. So he has realized that the 48 laws of power is playing out. Don't outshine the master. He has gone back to his root. By making that declaration that he's supporting Damagu, he has invariably bought into the agenda of Nyesom Wike, and we have seen it play out. And not only him, his own brother governor friends, because in any given forum, there are interested parties, there are cliques. So we can see clearly that for Sheikh Makinde to be speaking the way he has over the months, you know, trying to pick holes in the policies of Bola Tinubu, he was not acting alone. You could see his brother friends have joined him now to go and meet his master, who is Nyesom Wike, and you will see that Damagu and the seat of chairmanship of PDP is not no longer on threat. So the likes of Ugochi can now begin to link their wounds, so to say.
All right. Now, when you look at the story critically, it says that 7 governors, 7 PDP governors are against Damagum's national chairmanship. But then Finitri, when he was speaking a few days back, also came out to mention that 5 northern states have the support of are supporting Damagum. They are endorsing Damagum. And the states, already we've mentioned Finitri, of course, the governor of Adamawa State. Then Taraba State have already been mentioned. He also mentioned Gombe, Borno, and the Yobe states. So now, when you look at the people currently, you have Finitri of Adamawa.
So Borno,
Bauchi State.
Yeah, Bauchi is Mohammed, Bala Mohammed.
Borno, Edo State might swing to APC.
That's what I'm saying. They're
so
hanging in the balance.
If it swings to APC, then APC is out of governance.
The making the lead group now has an upper hand.
But if it swings to PDP, then it means 50, that the Bala Mohammed
still has a 50%.
They have an upper hand, while probably in the PDP Governors Forum.
Okay.
So let's not bring everything together.
No, but everything is centered in all these divisions, Laurentia. Is it not tending towards the solidity and how to solidify the stool for Damagum?
Of course, the BOT has been having closed-door meetings. The BOT have had closed-door meetings with the National Assembly caucus. The BOT has had closed-door meetings with the FCT minister. I am sure the BOT, they are having these meetings probably to seek advice, to push for reconciliation, and whatever it is they are doing behind closed doors, because of the crisis that is currently going PDP. And it's a very sensitive one, actually.
Very sensitive.
It has the capacity
of either making or marrying PDP.
Yes, making or marrying the party. So it has to be
everybody is pulling to him.
Right now is divided.
It's divided
over the speakership, over the chairman, the national chairmanship.
And what would you have expected any less when Nyesom Wike has taken side? When Nyesom Wike has been the eye of the top. Remember what I have been telling you, Laurentia. The PDP, all those who are dissenting voices and whatever camp they were, I don't want to know. But let the truth be told. And the fallout that happened before the PDP primary elections, that is where the dirty waters have been lying. Let them speak truth. Who is afraid of calling out Atiku? Is Atiku holding any position that he cannot be summoned by the PDP stakeholders? Knowing that this problem now was majorly caused by Atiku. Why has Atiku's name and those of his people been very salient in what is going on in PDP? Until they have brought out, because they say that when our Igbo proverb say that those who are seeking for the peace of for a medication, that he will atone the bad nature of the eye, should not mix it with pepper. So until PDP tells themselves the truth, until the likes of Iyochi Ayo and whom do you call him, the former governor of Sokoto State, who is now a senator, Aminu Tambawa, until they come to tell